welcome current Mayor of Monash, Councillor Nicky Luo. How are you?
Good, thank you, Rilla. Thank you for having me on your show. It's exciting.
Thank you very much, and thank you for your time because I know it's a very, very busy period right now campaigning. Before we start, I just want to acknowledge the traditional land that we are coming from today. So I'm coming from the Boonwurrung land, and you come from the Wurundjeri. And we pay our respects to the elders, past, present, and emerging, and extend this to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait people. So, how's the campaign going first?
I think it's going pretty good, to be honest. For myself, I put my head down and just focus on my campaign, be positive, and did a lot of door knocks. And I mean, obviously, we did a lot letterboxing and do a lot of door knocks, and all the door knocks has been very positive. And I think I really enjoyed that part because last elections hasn't been able to because of COVID. So this time you really get to engage people, talk about what's happening in the community, and how's their life, or if there's any issues. But a majority had giving a lot of positive feedback, so I'm excited about it.
I'm excited for you too. I will say I love it when you call and I don't know who's calling me. And it's like, hey, it's Nikki here. I like Nikki. Hmm. Mayor of Monash. Oh, Nikki, I love it. You're so down to earth. You're
Oh,
very
thank you.
humble. Um, is this probably because you've also got a Chinese background? Like you're really just a down to earth, humble person. And when I see your campaign through social media, and the photos, you're just like someone next door, like it's the next door girlfriend or.
Yeah, I guess it's a personality as well, but also I guess it's how my parents and a family values that brings who I am today. But I guess it's also, the belief that we're here for people and people there for us as well.
Yeah,
We want to be able to be a people can approach us and personable as well, that people can talk to us so they don't feel like afraid of, coming to a mayor or a councillor or MP, that they can't talk about how they feel and what
yeah,
their issues are, because I think it's also my background as a mental health clinician. So I've been working
yes,
mental health for 17 years, as a nurse, a psychiatric nurse, and as a clinical family therapist as well. I guess that has brings that personality, I guess, as well, how I approach things. But the important things that I always think that collaboration is important with the community. And if we can't be approachable by other people, we won't know what's going on, what's happening.
yes, that's right.
Um, I I remember one of the residents that has it came and said, well, it is a very big city for city of Monash.
Yeah, it's about
Some
81 and a half, 81 and a half kilometers, square
yeah,
kilometers.
and we have almost 13 suburbs in our city, so it's not small. And to be able to aware of every corner, every street, I think it's challenging for everyone, anyone. But it's the feedback that people can comfortably and come and say, hey, do you know what? This is some issues. So hence probably that's why as well. And we are just a person. It is a person next door,
Yeah,
So we are there for people as well. Probably that's why, and just be myself, I guess.
definitely your personality there. Definitely, Nikki. Nikki, your area is so diverse, so multicultural. There are, huge amount of the Greek community within that area and the Asian community within that area. I guess having a Chinese Asian background, you'll be very approachable and, you'll be able to communicate very well with the Asian community. Have you had any barriers or any issues trying to speak and communicate with the ethnic community around there, like the Italian people and the Greek people?
Um, hasn't had a huge I mean, I haven't had a huge challenge for myself anyway, because I think again, I think with the professional role that I have in my job, it's always talking to people, and I think communication is the key, and the tone of the voice and how you present yourself at events or when you're with people, I think that is really draws people to wanting to talk to you. And I have a great friends in different ethnic community as well. I have a great friends in Indian community and Greek, of course.
And the
So
Greek
one of
community.
my very good friend over 20 years, he's Greek.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, I always jokingly and call him coconut.
Can I ask? You probably
Yeah.
won't say the name. Can I ask, is it a former mayor?
No,
Oh,
no.
okay.
So, well, he's what? Well, I was more say he's my mentor, like
Mentor. Okay.
and he's a big friend. But personal life, before I met, the former mayor, Paul. Obviously everybody knows him. He's a very good family friend. But before I met him, I have this very good friend. I met him when he was 18, when I was 20. Um, so we met back in uni time. So
Wow.
we remained friends.
Friends.
I remember going to the after Easter celebrations, going to his house with his grandparents, making all
Oh,
the food.
that's
So that
fantastic.
that's the one I think that it's the connections that I have in my personal life. So Italians, and my first friend is Italians. In Australia, when I first landed in 1997, they had a big family friends over 40 years, and it's the uncle calls me Bobby. That's my little
Oh, that's
nickname.
so
They calls me
cute.
Bobby.
Bobby, that's cute.
Yeah, so like if I called him, and everybody knows I'm Bobby rather than Nikki.
Yeah.
And then he will tell his clients that it's my daughter from a different ethnic community, different background, but it's my
That is
daughter.
so
So
lovely. Absolutely lovely.
yeah, so I feel like that is the connection, and my really good my girlfriend is Sri Lankans, that's so I feel like I quite multicultural excel with the
That's
friends that
probably
I have.
so, yeah, and it's probably so, so important, particularly in the role that you are currently in.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned earlier about having the background for mental health in nursing. Um, since COVID, obviously, there's been a
Mm.
lot of issues. Have you been able to, while you've been councillor and mayor, been able to help a lot of people along the way, especially now that you're also doing your campaign?
Definitely. And I think even before as a mayor, as a councillor, during COVID, I started I think particular for the Chinese community as well that have a language barrier, unsure and uncertain about what services are available, particularly during COVID time. The parents is overseas and kids are here. I was supporting the parents overseas. They will call me middle of the night and say, I'm really worried about, very concerned about my kids and who is quite suicidal. This is probably a little bit confronting to talk about in here,
That's
but
okay. It's okay.
it is um a significant issues out there at the time of COVID. So I've been starting doing volunteer works and helping people and redirect them in that way. So as a becoming the reason that I coming on council, and then one of the things that driving is mental health, to be
Mental
able to
health.
help people to increase awareness and to people to understand it's okay to not to be okay and to seeking out help as well. And I guess it's a tap on a lot of different branches under mental health and as we go. Um, I guess in the role as a coming on counselor, you have a better platform and bigger platform to be able to say it, name it,
Yep.
to promote it.
Yes.
I think that's a bit of branding that I created for myself, and that people knows it about that as well.
That's
They have
amazing.
there's a people coming onto me and say, I'm really struggle. Where can I go? What can I go? Or you talking to people and say, have you thought about that? And really connecting people in regarding what's about in mental health. So I do a bit of
Yes.
a kind of a talk as well. People would invite me to have a bit of speech. And so in that way, I think I've been along the way been promoting mental health. I think it's important as well, particularly um, with the cultural not only
Yeah.
cultural background, but multicultural background, but a lot of other one as well, that a lot of people, the stigma is still there. We
It
want
is
people, yeah. Yeah, you would know, I think, and as we talk that you as being the mental health
mental health
champion,
champion. Yeah.
I
It
think
is there.
it's very important.
Look, I think we need more people like you in council to have that background of multiculturalism, to have the background of mental health. You're involved in a lot of committees, which I'll touch on in a minute. But
Yeah.
one of the key things that I read about you is how you like to promote that the key things in council, not just rate paying and all that sort of stuff, but you've got the
Mm,
residents, respects, rights.
mm,
So council not about just policy and procedures, law and order, but also to serve the people and have a positive impact to bring back the community, especially after COVID. And I also did read that your priority is to create a harmonious, safe, inclusive, welcoming, respectful community, which you also touched on a little bit earlier. I find that it's a little bit disappointing in somewhat way when I'm
mm,
thinking about what you are involved in, your values, and what you're giving back to the community. 1 year as a councillor, sorry, a
mm.
mayor is probably not enough. Like you've got the city of Melbourne, Victoria's capital. It's the Lord Mayor. They run for 4 years. So the mayor of Monash and all the other mayors are running just in the suburbs are running for 1 year. So sometimes I wonder, is that enough time for you to help the community? Is that enough time for your skill set and mindset to give to the community? Because by the time you're out there, it's time to campaign again.
Mm,
And then, that desperation of campaigning well so that
mm,
you are re-elected. So I guess if you have started projects with the community, you can continue it. Is
yeah,
that a difficulty knowing that you may not be re-elected? And how would you then continue to give back to the community? How does that work?
yeah. So, as you touch on, our mayoralty is 12 months. But given the last years of the term, it's a little shorter than 12 months. And I did say that to someone. I said time is a biggest challenge, because you want to be able to reach every pocket of the city to be able to meet all those people. But it is difficult because we have our duty. However, I think the things that I want to do, and that's what I've been saying also all the time, and even before I got elected for the last term, not the current term, and I always said that the things that I want to do or things that people want to do to give it back to community should not be bound by the position you held. Regardless of what you want to do or regardless of where you at, if there is the things that you want to do for the community, you should continue on anyway, regardless you get elected or not elected, because your heart's there for the community. For example, I've got a project that I want to do in regarding mental health. So for multicultural mental health or bridging the cultural gap, um, that shouldn't be only continue or work on as a mayor. But I think as a community member, there's still a power of myself in there together with the people that I have met, with the people with the passion. Let's say I said one day I'll say, "Hey, Rula, I've got this. Would you like to come on board and do it together to promote that?" I think that can be continue as well.
Oh, that's fantastic to know. It's
Yeah,
important what you're actually saying now because it's it'll be great to see a lot more women run for local council. It'd be great
yeah,
to see a lot more women have that 12 months in being mayor. And I think a lot of women um, are grasping the concept. They're a little bit hesitant because technically it's always been a male domineering
mm,
area, but
mm,
now they're stepping in there. And I guess a lot of them also think, okay, well, if I'm going to go and do this and I'm only going to last a year, it's all that energy put in. And then I walk away feeling I haven't quite
yeah,
achieved what I wanted to achieve. So I think what you've just mentioned is very, very important
mm,
for women to listen, understand, take it on board,
yeah,
and to run for council. I just want to now touch on quickly about some of the committees that you are on. You're a
yeah,
member of the CEO Employment and Remuneration Committee, the Glen Waverley Activity Centre Committee, Monash War Memorials Advisory Committee, and the Multicultural Advisory Committee. Now, you're also an active councillor and have sat on a number of community-facing committees and bodies of council, which also include the Disability Advisory Committee, the Eastern Innovation Board, Glen Waverley Activities Centre Committee, the Junior Advisory Group, LGBTIQA and Advisory Committee, Multicultural Advisory Committee, Positive Aging Reference Group, Positive Aging Network Group, Monash Youth Committee, and Eastern Region group. Will you still continue in these committees, whether you are elected as mayor or not?
Um, yes, so at the moment as a mayor, I am on the first four that you've mentioned, and including the multi as a chair for the multicultural advisory committees. But for the youth committees and the positive aging and LGBTIQA plus, I will be more proactively involved if just a councillor. Because during a mayoralty, you're default to all the committee anyway, but it's a matter of the attendance of to those committee. But due to other commitment, it's often conflict with another commitment, so we're not able to get to all of them as well. Because as a face of local governments, and that it's, I think one of the thing it's a relationship building as well. For us at being a mayor or the councillor, I think it's important to have those relationship with the community. So I do enjoy all this advisory committee, for all the from the little ones to the older ones, and
Yeah.
for all the different multicultural community, interfaith, and the LGBTIQA plus as well. I think that's what I want to promote. And how do I come about and say I want to be more inclusive and safe, and a city that is more harmony and everybody respectful. I think the kindness is that's what it's driving me there. To be able to be onto those committees, it's really learn about what's going on, what's happening out there. And what I did as a mayor to finishing up the mayoral term, I had an appreciation dinner with all the committees that come
Oh, wow.
around together. I mean, they do generally get to meet twice a year or once a year, but it's I guess for them the feedback is different because it's appreciation dinner. People more relaxed, and so just not there for other things, so they will be able to engage with each other, get to know each other. They did a little presentation. I think I invited them to speak to see how they go for the term that we all the councillors there, what's it like, and their experience have been very positive. And I thank all of them that have spoken and give me the very positive feedback as well. But for the young person, the youth community group that did a little presentation about what they've done, and to show remaining committee for the environmental and also for the positive aging, they were so happy to see the involvement they have as well. That connections, I think, is you don't normally have, particular with the generational gap, what's happening out there. They're like, scared of talking to each other, what's going on, what's happening. So that kind of, I think, bringing people together, and I really enjoy, and I will definitely put my hands up to get involved again, if there is opportunity, if there's a vacancy, and I will definitely do that. But if it's not a councillor, I mean, our site, like I said, I've been involved with a lot of a different community. I think either via friends or family, and I've been going to them as well. So they still been very proactively inviting
Yeah.
me to different community events, and
Events.
yeah, and
Well,
during aftercare, I
well,
told
we
them, I said, look, I'm not there anymore. They're like, no, I just want you as a person. Come.
that is
So,
so good because we
yeah.
met at the um, Pink Ribbon Breakfast that was
Yes.
organised by Councillor Steve
For the
Demopoulos,
MPs, by the
the
state
MP,
MPs.
yeah,
Yeah,
but the
yeah,
state
yeah,
MPs, that's
yeah,
right. And, I would not have known you were the mayor because one, I didn't follow who's the mayor now currently at Monash just because of the work back, all the stuff.
yeah,
It just didn't happen. Um, and I remember being introduced to you. And
yeah.
I thought, wow, she's the mayor. You didn't portray yourself as a authority figure, but
Yeah,
someone
right.
who was just so down to earth.
Thank you.
But the majority of the people at that event were the same. And it was a
Yes,
really lovely event to see, state government, local government come together for such an important event.
yes. And I have to say that I had a very good relationship with our state MPs and federal MPs as well in City of Monash. And then we have quite a few key MPs that is in minister role as well. And just being very friendly, and they all very supportive as well for City of Monash, in terms of some of the projects, and they come and talk to us, and I said to them, I build a relationship and say, look, if you can support in here, can we do something together? And they will go their way to support, and I think it's been really good. I think, like I said, one of the key thing is, as a mayor, is a relationship building, regardless of with the community or with the state or with the federal MPs. I think it's always have a good relationship is that as well. And I think it's one thing is one thing that you touched on about time. Yes, and I think the biggest challenge is that you want to have more time to be able to reach out to everyone, which is not possible sometimes.
I
It's
know.
hard, but I guess what I want is to be able to promote what council really about. So,
Yeah,
there is authority figures in there, but also there to support community as well. I guess the one thing I want to touch on is myself as a first mayor with the Chinese heritage for Monash. I'm very proud, and my family proud. My community is especially proud as well.
yeah,
But I think it's the back home, the government is very different concept to here. So I want to them to be more involved, because I think it's important to fostering the intercultural, to strengthening and enhance our multicultural community. It's for them to understand what's your community really about.
yeah.
So I think that it's what I will continue to do, and I think that it's our role as well. And then if there's more time, definitely want to do more. But I don't see why can't I do this continuously as a councillor as well.
Oh, that is so good to know. Well, one of the big events that is coming up now under the City of Monash is the Oakley Glendy Festival, very
Yes, yes,
multicultural
yes,
festival, very Greek dominating
yes,
festival. Obviously, that's going to be after the elections.
yes,
So hopefully we'll get to see you as mayor. Do we
yes.
otherwise, yeah, do you think if you're not re-elected, do you believe there might be a female maybe will be elected, or will we see another male? Have we got enough female councillors running?
We Well, incumbent wise, yes, and myself, and then there's a couple of more incumbent female
Yeah.
councillors running in a different ward, and I can see that there's a couple more candidates are running in other wards as well. So hopefully, they will be one of them will be a
Be
couple more. I mean, not one of them, but like one of them each ward. If they get elected, we'll have more. And I guess it's representation matters, to be honest. And I think elections are elections. It's
election or elections. Oh, I
yes.
hope to see you again as mayor.
Thank
I
you.
think, look, as you said, you're the first Chinese background female mayor.
Yeah,
And I think it'd be great to see that extra year
yeah.
because you are part of so many different things and your passions, are very strong, especially with mental health and all that sort of stuff. So it'd be great to see you run again. Now, we know with the Lord Mayor of Melbourne, they have a team.
Yeah,
When you're mayor for the city of Monash or other areas, do you
yeah.
also have a team behind you? And I guess
Um,
I'm asking this question for people who are thinking of running for council and then maybe stepping into the role as a mayor.
um, we run it a little bit differently, because Lot Mayor in Melbourne, they have to organise the ticket. So they have Lot Mayor, Deputy Lot Mayor, and Councillor on one ticket. I haven't really studied about how they actually work, but it seems quite very different to us. So for us, no, we run it as an independent, although that we be affiliated with a party, but we are independent, and we run on our own as well. But I am very thankful and very lucky and very fortunate that I have a large volunteer team that's supporting me
Oh, that's
behind my
fantastic.
back. So they come from everywhere. And they're not just helping me doing letterboxing and door knocking. they're looking after me, make sure I eat.
Oh, that's
They
so
do
cute.
food as well. So I've got the Chinese community, I've got the Indian community, I've got the Afghani
Community.
community as well. They come from Keysborough, come from Parkdale, so it's not even
Yeah,
resident Monash. And I've got all different people. I got friends, Greek as well, supporting in the local area. So I do have a bit, I've got friends who's Italians and he's actually in Italy and he finished his job, but he's not Australia, but he was a job here. And he's like, do you need help? I've got all my friends there can come
that's
all the way.
fantastic. That is
You
that
know?
is really fantastic.
Yeah, and
Absolutely. You've obviously won them over with respect. They
yeah,
trust you. That is
yes,
so good to hear, Nikki, because a lot of females are afraid. They are afraid, like, how can I do this on my own, or who will
yeah,
back me?
yeah. And so that's why I feel good that regardless of how that works, but I just think that the support that people give, they go beyond your way. I've got MP support as well, and I just think that they've been just so good. I guess it's regardless of the political party. I think one of my very good friends, Manjik, and he was saying that we're here for people.
That is
We're
great.
here for people because we're here for you. I've got other friends and say, we're here because of you. It's not about anything else. It's just you. I can go beyond. They like countless day, countless hour walking out there. It doesn't matter. It's raining or sunny and they're just out there. And they like, you need me, we there. When we finish, we back away. Like you don't have to feel like pressure. I'm like, no, just that's what friends and what the community. I guess I have to say that and proudly said that I've earned the respect from everyone in the community. Some of the friends that you believe it or not, Rula, it's only met once. First time they were like, and they're there next day, giving
Helping
me the
you.
support. So
That's
I'm
so
like,
good.
yeah. So and food, I just
And food. They've got to
yeah,
feed you.
they do feed me. So they're just lovely, and I think it's the things that I think I've earned and I've gained so much from the last 4 years and I think for people that if you really have women particularly and it is a hard job. I am as a single mom do
And
work
you're
and
raising two children.
yes and I think, but like you said, don't be afraid if you have inspirations and to serving your community. That is the role. Don't think of like you're here as a job or anything else. If you have a real heart and say for the community, do put your hand up. I think it's a really brave. And all the candidates across, 2,000 something candidates across Victoria who put their
Yeah.
hand up. I think
Well
really, really
done.
good.
Look,
Yeah.
I think you're
Yeah.
also a great role model to your children.
Thank you.
And being a single mum, you're a role model to all these women that need to be empowered, need to know that, people will have your back. Just go for
Mm,
it. Don't be afraid, because a lot of
mm,
women are afraid when they're raising kids on their own.
yeah.
They're afraid of financial independence. They're afraid of running for positions like yourself.
Mm,
Um, but women are so strong. They
mm,
multitask. If you can
yes.
be a mother and raise children,
Yes.
you can be a counselor. Let's face it.
Yeah. And it's true, I think as a mum, regardless of you are single mum or in a family, I think it's a huge job.
Yeah.
Not saying the dad is not, the dad as well. Some of the single dad is doing amazing job
Amazing
as
jobs.
well,
Yes.
you know. But I think of course, because I'm a woman, I'm speaking for women's. I think we need to be together, support each other.
We
And
do. We need to have each
yeah,
other's backs. That's right.
exactly. And regardless, what your ethnic background, and give a go. I think that is the best way. If you don't put yourself in it, you will never know. And for me, I'm like I said, I'm here not just representing myself, not for my family, but also for my ethnic community as well, for
Community.
my cultural background as well, because my family's always teaches that we don't forget about, our family origin, but we always contribute back to the country that we live and we choose to
Yeah.
be home, which is Australia and Victoria and here. So that is the mentality that carries it for my family. And I always said, um, look, unfortunately, people will use that. I'm very proud to say I'm Australian Chinese, and that's what I am. You know,
That's,
you can't say I am not, right?
yeah,
And sometimes, very unfortunately, people will use that to pick on you and criticize you because of that. You know, but I say it shouldn't be. Australia
that's
is the
right.
most multicultural, diverse community.
We need to be very
Respect,
proud. Yeah.
we do, and respect the differences to other people.
That's it.
Yeah.
Nikki, I wish you all the very, very best. I hope you continue as mayor so that you continue to aspire and continue the projects that you've started and continue to give to the community and keep building that. But whether or not you run for another term or you're just back into being councillor, I know we're going to become very good friends.
Thank you.
And I thank you so, so much for your time, especially during this very, very busy period. And I'm definitely going to catch up with you very soon.
Thank you so much, Ula. I have to say that, thank you for that opportunity and really opens up that for other people to learn about who I am as well.
Yeah,
And I'm always there, open for people to come and catch up with me or reach out to me. Sometimes I'm a bit slow replying messages, but
that's
I'll
okay.
get there. And social media, I am very bit slow, it's particular in that, but I'm taking up on one of residents' advice. Try to be on social a bit more. I say I put that as my priority for the next one. Try to be on that as much, bit more. But getting there, getting
You're
there.
getting there. Nikki,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.